The lights were dim, the air filled with tension, and the world watched as one of K-pop's most beloved stars, Jimin, broke down in tears. But it wasn't just any ordinary moment, this was something far deeper. As Jimin wiped away his tears, Jungkook stood beside him, looking heartbroken, his eyes filled with confusion and pain. The moment left fans everywhere wondering, what caused this emotional breakdown? What was the message that shattered Jungkook's heart? Today, we're diving into the raw, emotional story behind the viral moment that left BTS fans speechless. This wasn't just another performance or appearance, this was a vulnerable, personal moment shared between two brothers, Jimin and Jungkook. And what happened next might surprise you. It all started innocently enough. The members of BTS were going about their usual routine, laughing, joking, and spending time together. But there was something different about that day. Something in the air was heavier. A tension that could not be ignored. Jimin had always been known for his infectious smile and vibrant energy, but today, he was quiet. He seemed distant, lost in his thoughts. And it didn't take long for fans to realize, this wasn't like him at all. Jungkook, always observant and in tune with his bandmates, noticed the shift. He watched Jimin, his face unreadable but his concern obvious. The bond between Jimin and Jungkook has always been one of the closest in BTS, and even without words they understood each other perfectly. As the day went on, Jimin's silence only grew. His usual cheerfulness was nowhere to be found, and Jungkook's worry deepened. What was going on with Jimin? Was something bothering him? Was it something personal? And then it happened. Jimin pulled out his phone and began reading something, a message. His face softened, and for a brief moment, it seemed like everything was going to be okay. But then something changed. His expression shifted from calm to something else, something deeper. Jimin's eyes welled up with tears. Slowly, he put his phone down, his hands shaking. He couldn't hold it in any longer. Jungkook, who had been quietly observing, quickly moved closer. He could see the pain in Jimin's eyes. Without a word, Jimin stood up, and in that instant, Jungkook knew something was wrong. Jimin, usually the strong one, was now fragile, vulnerable, and in need of comfort. What was the message that had left Jimin so shattered? And why was Jungkook so affected by it? As Jimin looked at Jungkook, his tears began to fall. It was as though the weight of everything he had been carrying suddenly became too much to bear. Jungkook reached out to him, instinctively wrapping his arms around Jimin. The embrace was tight, desperate, as if holding on to each other would somehow make the pain go away. Jimin's sobs were soft at first, then grew louder, his emotions breaking free. Jungkook's heart shattered watching his friend, his brother, in so much pain. It wasn't just Jimin who was hurting, it was clear that Jungkook was feeling the weight of this moment as well. He had always been the one to offer support, to be the strong one for the group, but today he found himself lost, unsure of how to make things right for Jimin. To understand the depth of this moment, we need to look back at Jimin and Jungkook's history. Their relationship has always been something special. From their early days in BTS, they've shared countless memories, triumphs, and struggles. They've faced hardships, fought battles, and celebrated victories together. But even in their bond, there were moments of doubt, moments of vulnerability that they had never shared with anyone outside of their circle. Jimin had always been the one to encourage his members, to uplift them when they were down. He was the emotional glue that kept everyone together. But now it was Jimin who needed that same support. And it was Jungkook who was there for him, offering his shoulder to lean on, his arms to hold him, and his heart to understand him. The message Jimin had received wasn't just a simple text. It was something that struck him deeply, something personal. Fans speculated about what it could be. Was it a message from someone close to him? Was it about his past? Or was it something related to BTS and their future? Whatever it was, it triggered something in Jimin that he couldn't control. He wasn't just reading a text. He was facing a reality that he wasn't ready to confront. And that's when everything came rushing to the surface. Tears, the emoji. Jungkook, meanwhile, was doing everything he could to be there for Jimin. But in that moment, he was struggling too. He had never seen his friend so vulnerable. Broke his heart to see Jimin in so much pain. He wanted to fix it, to take away Jimin's hurt, but sometimes the only thing you can do is be there and offer your presence. Jungkook's eyes, usually full of energy and confidence, now seemed lost, filled with confusion. He had always been the one who held things together for others, but now, he found himself at a loss for how to help Jimin through this moment. The two stood there, locked in that embrace, for what felt like forever. Fans watching from the sidelines couldn't help but feel the intensity of the moment. It wasn't just about two idols, it was about two people who had formed a bond that transcended the stage, the cameras, and the lights. This was real. This was raw. And in that moment, it wasn't about BTS the band. It was about Jimin and Jungkook the individuals, two brothers in arms, standing together in the face of something neither of them was prepared for. But what happened next is something no one saw coming. As Jimin slowly pulled away, he looked at Jungkook, his tear-streaked face softening. There was no need for words. Jimin wasn't alone in this. Jungkook was right there, standing beside him, ready to face whatever was next. Together, they would get through it, just as they always had. What was the message that caused such a reaction in Jimin? What does this moment mean for their relationship and for BTS? How does this vulnerability impact their future together? Stay tuned because we're just getting started. This story is far from over. As Jimin wiped away the last of his tears, a calm settled over him. It wasn't the end of his pain, but it was the beginning of healing. The hug had been a bridge between his heart and Jungkook's. Without saying much, they communicated everything. And in that silence, fans could hear the loudest message of all. The bond between Jimin and Jungkook is unbreakable. Jungkook, still holding on to Jimin, quietly whispered, "We're in this together." Those simple words seemed to carry so much weight. They didn't need grand gestures, just the understanding that they had each other. No matter what challenges lay ahead, no matter what messages or struggles or pain came their way, they would face it side by side. Jimin's tears had fallen, but they weren't signs of weakness. They were a reminder that even the strongest individuals need support. And in that moment, he knew he wasn't alone. With Jungkook by his side, an army cheering them on, Jimin could face anything. As the two brothers walked away from the emotional moment, the fans in the room stood still, quietly reflecting on what they had just witnessed. No one dared to speak, as if the room itself was holding its breath. The emotional vulnerability they had just witnessed was not something seen every day, especially not in the world of K-pop, where idols are often expected to appear invincible. But this moment was a testament to the power of true friendship. It was a reminder that even in the brightest of careers, there are dark times. But when you have someone to lean on, those moments become more bearable. Jungkook's heart was shattered, yes, but it was in the process of being mended slowly but surely by the love and support he gave to his brother. So, what happens after such an intense moment? How does Jimin move forward from this, and what does it mean for his relationship with Jungkook? Is this the kind of vulnerability that will bring them even closer, or is there more to uncover in their journey together? Truth is, this moment didn't just change Jimin and Jungkook, it changed their fans too. Armies all over the world now had a deeper understanding of the connection between these two members. It wasn't just about performing on stage or being idols, it was about being human. And it was that humanity that made BTS even more relatable, even more real to their fans. Jimin and Jungkook's bond is far from ordinary. It's a bond that has been built on years of trust, support, and shared experiences. And it's in these vulnerable moments, these moments of raw emotion, that their true strength is revealed. The fans, the music, the fame, it all fades away when you see the bond these two share. And for all of us, it's a beautiful reminder of the importance of connection, friendship, and emotional honesty. What did you think of this emotional moment between Jimin and Jungkook? Were you moved by their bond? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share this video with fellow armies. If you want to see more heartwarming BTS moments, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive insights into the lives of your favorite idols, Make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's continue supporting Jimin, Jungkook, and the entire BTS family through their ups and downs. Together, we're stronger.